Behind me here, there's a Stack Newcastle United's brand new shiny fan zone sitting in the shadows of the Gallagher end of the famous St James's Park, and it's been open since last August last year, and it's proven hugely popular amongst many Newcastle fans. There's 2,000 to 3,000 here filling the place out. There's queues wrapping itself around the whole complex to try and get in, but amongst the chants, the cheers and the beer, unfortunately there's some trouble brewing. Such as the success of Stack, which is helping to put money into the transfer kitty at Newcastle United. They've had an application granted to extend their tenure a further 3 years until 2031. Unfortunately, local pub owners are saying that because of the success of Stack, this could spell disaster for many of Newcastle's city centre pubs, with some warning that may not even last another season. And consequently, about 100 of Newcastle city centre pubs have come together, called themselves the NE1 Hospitality Group, and have launched an official legal challenge. And if things aren't difficult enough, Newcastle City Centre is about to open its second Stack just behind us there on Warwick Street. So tensions are now reaching boiling point. So in this video, I'm going to ask, is this progress for Newcastle, or does this spell the end for the Newcastle City pub scene? It's coming up. Welcome back, it's Eddie here from Tyneside Life, and this is a really tricky, contentious subject to cover in a video, and I don't want viewers to misunderstand what my particular view is on all of this. I'm absolutely torn. I have conflicting feelings about this whole situation. It's a bit like two of your best friends have fell out and one is threatening to take the other one to court. Hell, man, what's going on? This is really tricky because I do have mixed feelings about this. I love Stack. I go here, I wouldn't say regularly, but from time to time. I really enjoy it. I understand why the Stack model is successful. I do like to be in there. It is not for everybody. I understand it's a bit pricey. But, you know, if you want to sit in a large open plaza and watch a stream of live entertainment with a good vibe about the place, it's great. And it's been absolutely a huge success for Newcastle United. On match day, this place is jumping. You can hear the songs and the chants coming out of there. It's been bloody brilliant. And of course, some profits are going into Newcastle United. And of course, Stack, they have an aggressive ambition to expand the Stack brand all over the northeast, but also nationwide as well. So I don't think Stack is going to disappear anytime soon. But on the flip side, the Newcastle United pub scene, I did some research. I think there's around about 130 pubs within a half-a-mile radius of St James's Park, and traditionally it's all been very busy. This is the pub scene is one of the very reasons why Newcastle is such a popular city to visit, particularly amongst away fans, where Newcastle is arguably the best away day for away fans. They love it. They love coming to the city centre bars. So what makes Newcastle great is our vibrant city centre pub scene. And now it's at risk because of the success of Stack. Of course, on top of all the other difficulties that pubs are facing with rising costs here, there, with business rates and energy cost and national insurance and supply chain cost, etc. And a lot of them rely on match day just to keep their head above water. So we could conceivably see many, many pubs over the next few years disappearing. But before we go a little bit further into the video, for those of you who have never heard of Stack, don't know what it's about, or those of you who do but would like to know a little bit more about it, allow me to explain. Stack is a UK leisure operator that builds social hubs from shipping containers or repurposed buildings, mixing independent street food traders, bars and live events. The company launched in 2018 with its first venue, Stack Newcastle, opening in August 2018 on Pilgrim Street. This closed in 2022 and attracted over 3 million visitors. It's owned by the Danieli Leisure Group, led by CEO Neil Winch, with aggressive plans to expand the brand nationwide. In August 2024, St James's Stack opened beneath the Gallagher end at St James's Park. Built from 56 repurposed shipping containers, it transformed a former car park into a social and matchday hub. Designed in collaboration with Newcastle United and powered by their sponsors Seller, the venue is explicitly positioned as the club's official fan zone on match days. All televised Newcastle United matches are shown across large screens with full commentary, and on match days the venue is reserved for home supporters only. The venue is rated for around 2,000 people, although some sources cite up to 3,000. It supports 8 small businesses and directly employs about 175 staff. On non-match days it operates as a leisure hub, food, drink, live entertainment and a social gathering, open daily from 10 AM till midnight. In short, St James's Stack is more than a bar or concert venue, it's an engineered extension of the matchday atmosphere, built hand in hand with Newcastle United and Seller and designed to be the go-to place for fans before and after games, and a legal, licensed civil space for every other day. For more than 20 years, Warwick Chambers on Pilgrim Street sat under scaffolding. The original building went up in the 1890s, replacing the old Black House pub that had stood there since the 1700s. Over the years, it's been home to diamond dealers, wine merchants, solicitors, newsagents and even the fire service during World War II. After decades of decline, the site's been fully restored, the stonework repaired, the structure stabilised, asbestos removed and those original carved heads brought back to life. Now it's set to reopen as the new Stack in Newcastle, with 8 bars, 8 street food kitchens, a coffee shop, rooftop terrace, central stage for live events and leisure spaces for things like darts, shuffleboard and karaoke. It'll hold around 3,000 people and create over 150 jobs. Now, a few months ago, among some others, I was invited by the CEO of Stack, Neil Winch, to have a look inside of the new Stack, which is due to open next month. And I did a video about it. I'm going to leave a link at the end of this video if you want to have a sneaky view of what's going on inside and what it's going to look like before it opens next month. Check it out. Now, if you're a bit cynical, you might be wondering, well, really? Are Newcastle bars really being adversely affected by Stack on match days? Well, I've come to Newgate Street to come to arguably 2 of the biggest venues where Toon fans come to meet up before and after the match. And that's Wonder Bar, which is inside the gate. It's upstairs. Chock-a-block traditionally on match day. And virtually next door, you've got the Mayfair, another huge venue, which is chocker on match day. Now, I've spoke to staff and they have told me that they are witnessing a huge drop in footfall before, but particularly after the match as well, where they claim that fans are just heading straight into Stack after the game, rather coming to the bars like Wonder Bar and Mayfair. So you sort of get a flavour of what the world looks like for a whole host of the other city centre bars as well. Another bar which is hugely popular on match day is, of course, at the bottom of the Gallagher end, Shearer's Bar. Traditionally very busy, and it is. I don't go in before the match, but when I'm passing, it looks busy before the game. But I have it on good authority that after the game, which would usually be chock-a-block, died a death. There's nobody going there because most fans are streaming into Stack for the entertainment and the food, etc. And spearheading the pushback against Newcastle United's fan zone Stack, amongst 1 or 2 other individuals, is Tommy Byron. And he's the owner of the Dog and Parrot just over my right shoulder there, which in itself is just about a 5-minute walk from St James's Park. If you're not sure exactly where it is, it's just up from Central Station down there and opposite the Life Centre. So to let you know what's going on, I'll have to refer to my notes. So he's, I think, the chairman of the NE1 Hospitality Group, where he's pulled together, amongst others, about 100 of Newcastle's city centre pubs. Now, there's only about 130 in total, so it's a significant amount of pubs. And he's launched a judicial review over the City Council's decision to extend Stack's planning permission until 2031. If you recall, last August, it was just an initial tenure of 3 years. Now, they claim the extension decision was unlawful on a technicality, really, Amongst the arguments, they say the planning decision was made under delegated powers by, I think, planning officers rather than elected councillors, and that the original objections from hospitality businesses, pubs, etc., were not properly considered. They also argue that there should have been a more rigorous impact assessment on how Stack would affect existing city centre venues before approving that extension. And anyone crucially has said that although the legal route is their tool of last resort, they're open to negotiating a mutual acceptable outcome to avoid dragging everything through the courts. So they're implying that they're prepared to fight Newcastle United's fan zone Stack through the courts. And Tommy Byron, in another media outlet, is quoted as saying that pubs in the city centre, or certainly some of them, are literally fighting for survival and might not last another season. Now, Newcastle City Council have pushed back to that threat, or that legal pushback, if you like, saying that competition cannot be regulated via planning laws, which I understand. But also because this is a live legal process at the moment, the council say it can't comment further. Unfortunately, neither Stack nor Newcastle United have made any public statement either. And of course, this situation throws up another interesting dilemma, quite unrelated to the tensions that exist between the city centre pubs and Newcastle United's fan zone. And that's the topic of debate about stadium expansion or relocation, because many fans have thought that if there was going to be an expansion, there'd be another huge tier put on the top of the Gallagher end there with a cantilever system coming right into Strawberry Place here, because it would need that space. But of course now two important factors which we should take note of, and that is Stack is likely to be here till 2031, which is going to get in the way. But also as well, the land in between Stack and the back of the Gallagher end has been recently redeveloped, probably at huge cost. That land would probably be needed as well, should there be an extension to the back of the Gallagher. So, in my opinion, it would seem that any expansion to the Gallagher is now slim to none, if it were to go down that route. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, what do you think about this situation between Stack and city centre pubs? It's a fascinating topic. It's a bit worrying, of course. We want a thriving Newcastle city centre. Nobody wants to see pubs closed. It's what makes our fantastic city, or one of the reasons why it makes it such a great city, particularly for the reputation as being a party city. It brings in a lot of revenue and jobs into the area. So I hope we don't lose any bars. I suspect many city centre bars are going to have to aggressively redevelop and redesign and reinvent themselves in some way to compete with a change in market on how Toon fans want to spend their match day experience. So anyway, I hope you found the video interesting and informative. If you did, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos like that. Thanks for watching.